Welcome back, friends. Just a few days ago at the Gamescom, we were able to watch a new trailer for the upcoming Onimusha game. And based on what we saw so far, I am super excited for this game. So for those of you who don't know much about the Onimusha series, this is an older title from Capcom, and this is essentially an action game. It's an action RPG game where you are a samurai warrior fighting off demons who've attacked the land. And so far there are 4 mainline games associated with the series, and then a 5th installation which was sort of a mashup type of game, but also good in its own right. And now with the upcoming Onimusha Way of the Sword game, this would be game number 5 in the series. And I've been playing this game since the first one, and I really love these type of games. It is a high-paced, fast action RPG game, not to be confused with a Souls-like game based on the gameplay trailer so far that we've seen of the new title. And in this game, you kill the enemies and you're able to absorb their souls. So your character is imbued with the power of the Oni, which allows them to absorb the souls of their enemies and use that to enhance their power. So in this way, you can enhance your abilities, you can unlock new weapons, and you can unlock the abilities for those new weapons as well. And for each new game, they added a bunch of new characters and mechanics and really made the game very unique and interesting. So in the first game, you play as Samanosuke Akechi, who is the main character. And then you have a side character as well that helps you along with your journey. And the second game, you play as Yagyu Jubei, and you are accompanied by a couple of other different characters as well, side characters. And in that game, you had a lot more liberty to go off and on the trail and explore, and I believe you can switch between some of those characters as well during the mission. So that one had a lot more explorability, I believe, compared to the first. But both games played fairly similarly, and as of right now, the first and the second game both have remasters, so you can go ahead and find those and pick them up and play them right now if you wanted to. As for the third game, it was a more big budget type of game, similar to something like a Hollywood movie. I think they mentioned something like that when the game was coming out. And in that game, I believe that was probably one of the more difficult games of all of the ones that I've played. And in that version, you did have other characters as well, but I believe some of them were actual actors in real life. And so I know a lot of people are expecting or hoping at least that they would also remaster Part 3. But if they do happen to go that route, I think they may have a little bit more difficult time doing it because they may need to reach out for licensing or something to that effect because of the real life actors. As for Part 4, it's called Dawn of Dreams, and I actually never had the chance to play it, and actually never even knew it existed until a couple of years ago, which is a shame on my part. But all in all, it looks kind of fun, so hopefully at some point, if they can remaster all the games, I'd love to actually give that one a try. But in between all 4 of those games, there was another game for the Onimusha series called Onimusha Blade Warriors. And this game was something like a mix-up, so very similar to the original type of games in that you would fight the enemies and absorb the souls, but then they sort of mixed this in with Smash Bros style combat, and also something like 2 or 3 dimensional stages where you can jump from the foreground to the middle ground to the background and essentially fight in platforms. And overall, that was also a great game. It was a lot shorter in a sense because they were like quick matches and you would have to defeat the enemy within that certain round, and then that's how you would complete the stage and move on to the next one. And in that game, you could unlock a myriad of characters. So pretty much everyone from the mainline Onimusha series games and a lot of other characters as well. And in that game, you could set the NPCs, your enemy characters, to a very high difficulty level. And you could get a lot of time playing that game, just learning the skill curve. Now, as for the new game, Onimusha Way of the Sword, you can already tell graphics-wise, this is a huge step up from the previous installations. So you have this thing running on a whole new engine, and it just looks really, really good in terms of quality. And so for the new game, the new protagonist is Miyamoto Musashi, who is a very well-known character in Japanese history, especially in the realm of samurai warriors. And now, upon watching some of the trailers, there was a bit of a discourse between 2 different groups of gamers, primarily the original enjoyers of the Onimusha series, who knew this game to be an action RPG and were hoping that it would remain in that same style. And then the other group of players who were sort of like the Souls players, who thought that this game was similar to a Souls-like game. And I think based on what we're able to see in the trailers, I can understand how some people might have been confused about that, because it seems like in most of these Souls games, they do capture a lot of similar gameplay systems and movements, things of that nature from a lot of other games. And then when people go on to play these Souls-like games, they think that these type of systems are inherently part of the Souls-like genre, which can lead to a lot of confusion here. But in essence, Onimusha is not a Souls-like game. It is once again an action RPG, but just because it's an action RPG doesn't mean that it won't have similar mechanics to games like Souls-like genre or other action games. For example, we're going to take something very obvious here and say the parry or counter system. Just because you're able to parry an attack from a big boss monster, knock them away, and then retaliate as a counter, doesn't mean that that is inherently a Souls-like system mechanic that is specific to only Souls-like games. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you were also able to do something similar in the previous Onimusha games, although it's been a while since I've actually played them. But absolutely, you can counter enemies' attacks quickly before they're able to attack you, and then you can get critical hits in and kill them a lot faster. So this is inherently a part of the Onimusha game design and battle mechanics. But one thing I can see from the trailer is that they are definitely putting a lot of thought and a lot of effort into the movements of the character. So the way he moves and the way he fights and the type of things that he can do in combat, such as pushing enemies into obstacles, using those obstacles to throw them at enemies, or somehow getting the enemies to fight each other. Things of that nature, which I think are a really great addition to the game series. I think there were a lot of different type of games that Capcom could have put their money and effort into, but for whatever reason, this season of games has focused primarily on a lot of Eastern style aesthetics and stories. We have had quite a few different samurai style games recently, such as Ghost of Tsushima, Rise of the Ronin, and other similar games. So it's no surprise that they'd capitalize on that success. As for me, once again, I am a big fan of the Onimusha series. Again, I played part 1 through 3, and I played Onimusha Blade Warriors, and I am absolutely looking forward to this next title. And if you are also a fan of samurai warriors battling it out with demons, go check out the trailers for this game and maybe check out some of the older games as well. Once again, Onimusha 1 and 2 Remastered are out, and they are available for most platforms right now. So if you want to give that a shot, go ahead and check those out and maybe get a little bit of a head start and some history on the game series. Based on what you've seen so far on the trailers for this game, what do you think about it? Are you interested in these type of action RPG games? Or was there some other game at Gamescom that caught your attention? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoy gaming content like gameplay, narratives, game reviews, gaming news, and commentary, consider liking this video and subscribe to The Hero's Blade. Until next time, wish you all the best and God bless.